20 years ago, when I was just a little child, I saw the end of the world. I saw a man with a lab coat and a bottle. Even as a kid, I knew scientists were no good. They were always making things up. But not this one. Something was different about this scientist. He was dead. His bottle was empty. It said superhuman serum. The rest of that day, I will never forget. Behind him was the dumpster where it all began. Hyper-intelligent raccoons took over the world in a matter of days. Culture and history were rewritten. Human beings became second-class citizens in the world that they rightfully claimed and pillaged first. Many died. Many were driven to insanity. A few were put in human zoos and lived happily ever after. Kidding. They are super unhappy too. In all the chaos, no one truly knew how they became so intelligent. I knew it had something to do with that scientist, but no one would listen. 20 years later is where I stand today, confined to alleys and tunnels, dumpsters and gutters, the dark places of the world that the raccoons no longer wanted to live. Being treated like garbage, having to eat garbage, forced to live in garbage, becoming garbage. It was the only choice I had. And then came the day when I found their flyer. It was only then, with the power of eloquently placed exposition, was I able to find out what I had to do. The resistance was well hidden, deep underground. It was the last collective group of humans who wanted to go back to the way things were, to make Earth great again, they said. I don't do a lot of thinking, so that sounded just right. I approached the resistance, and when I told the scientists what I knew, they picked me right away. They told me I would be sent back to the very day it happened, and I would have only this one chance to stop the scientist from giving raccoons the serum. Their creation, it was incredible. The most advanced technological feat known to man or raccoon. A mechanical glory, the masterpiece of the last welders, physicists, and believers of the human race. There were a million reasons not to go. The most convincing that I might die, but that was a risk I was willing to take. My ears rang, and as I caught my breath, I realized I was in the exact same spot. The time scientists were gone, and the floor smelled as though it had been cleaned. Did it work? Am I dead? I must climb to the surface to see for myself. First, nothing. Then the sound of birds, the smell of real food, and then there it was, people talking. In the future, this place is so overgrown, it's hard to tell it was a campus. But then I heard something exclusive to a thriving San Diego school. Construction. I was in the past. After a large helping of kettle corn, I searched for the man in a lab coat that I had seen today so many years ago. All it took was one look with my high-tech binoculars, and I knew who I was after. I had seen them, and the memories came flushing back. I followed the scientists to their evil lab, where I went under disguise so I could get as close as possible. I watched and I knew they were the one when they grabbed the serum. Finally, when we were close enough, I intervened. I told them what I knew, how the world was destroyed because of their actions. They were confused. They did not know me. They were lying. Scientists always lie. In the heat of battle, I struck him so hard that the super serum flew out of his hand and into the nearby trash bin. Immediately, he took off, running. But it was no use. "I see," said the blind man, pissing in the wind. "It all comes back to me." Not sure who wrote that, but it seemed relevant at the time. I was the one who caused the world to be destroyed. The raccoons, they mutated so fast I could barely speak, and then they were upon me.